You are now listening to the Serious Growth Podcast with your host, Leo Costa Jr.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show today. We have Raphael. I know him as Raphael. His stage name is, some of you might know him as, what is it? Rexo Stallon. Rexo Stallon. Interesting. I thought, when I saw that, I thought, I know that guy. I don't know him as Rexo Stallone. Right. You know, why is it that you picked a stage name like that?
A longtime friend of mine came up with it. He said, "Hey, your second half of bodybuilding, you need a stage name."
Yeah.
And I went with it. You know, I thought it was cheesy in the beginning, but it stuck. So
we're
gonna roll with it.
Yeah. The thing about that is, I don't know why I was looking for you. I think I was looking for you because I wanted to tell you about an event that was going on or something like that. Right. And I had, like too many years have gone by. You know, I've had some strokes. I've forgotten some shit now, and I was looking for you, but then I thought, wait a minute, I know this guy. And then I remembered Raphael. Hey, we go back a little bit, don't we?
Man, since I was in diapers.
Yeah. Now, you lived across right there by the dairy, right?
Yes. No, we were St. Charles Parkway.
Oh, okay.
When, Smitty got us a home over there.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right. So you came from LA.
Yes.
Okay. And so how did you get yourself into bodybuilding? You had to start somewhere.
Well, it was a couple of events. The first one was Lou Ferrigno, 1978 on TV.
Yeah.
From that point, I wanted to do it. The second thing was when we went to go watch you compete at the 1986 Mr. Visalia.
Yeah.
After that, it was a wrap. This was gonna be me.
Yeah. Isn't that something? How something just grabs you like that? You know?
I got bit.
Stuck. And the people that are in it, like you and I are, they understand that. Most people don't really understand that bite because it's like, it's serious. It's like it's obsessive and it consumes you. Would you agree with that? Is that the way it makes you feel?
Perfect example.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're a little crazy.
And it's all, I know, maybe for you, it's all I can think about, especially back in those days. And, I started when I was 27 years of age. How old were you when you actually started weight training?
Oh, my father, Ernie, you remember Ernie?
Yeah.
He didn't allow me to touch a weight till the day I turned 13.
Yeah.
Went over here to Big Five and got my first weight set.
Yeah.
And it's been on ever since.
Well, how did you learn how to weight lift? I'm assuming you had this all at your house.
Yes.
So how did you learn how to do that?
The magazines.
Yeah.
I got blessed and I had those little skinny Ironman magazines.
Yeah.
And I would just read those and, I'd ask my dad, like, hey, what does Leo do? He's like, one day I'll take you to watch him train, but hanging out at the gyms.
Yeah.
Hanging out with rest in peace, Mike Rajeda.
Yeah.
Travers, and then eventually I met up with you doing videos, a Titan video.
Titan, that's the first time were we in Fresno?
We did let's see. We did Fresno, we did right here in Tulare Fun and Fitness.
Yeah.
And we did a photo shoot.
That's right.
And you taught me the Bulgarian system, and man, the serious growth is legit.
Yeah.
And I still use that for myself and my clients.
Yeah, that's cool. I mean, that's how far back we go.
Yes.
But when you started, I learned it the same way as you did. Back then, a lot of people don't know, back then there was no social media or, the way you learn it now compared to how we learned it back then. And I think, honestly, in some ways, I almost think that it was a better way to learn it how you and I learned it originally with magazines. And even with magazines, for me, it was sometimes misleading. When I was reading the articles and I was seeing the photos, I didn't realize what all went into a photo shoot.
Right.
So I would see these guys training and I'm thinking, how can they be that much stronger than I am? You know what I mean? Right. And well, now in social media, there's just so much stuff out there. I'm not saying that social media is a bad thing, but there's a lot of good stuff. There's also a lot of stuff that's out there that's just, I don't know. I just don't think sometimes it's a really good environment in the way people are presenting themselves. And so like you, what I did, I wanted to clarify this and see it for my own self and learn it from my own self. And I remember that day after I reading the magazine, I thought, I'm going to go to Venice Beach, the Mecca.
Yes.
That's it right there. And I went in there, Raphael, and I got to tell you, my first response when I walked through the door is I said, oh, hell no. These guys were monsters. It took a while to set in because, you see it in a magazine and then all of a sudden you see these guys like live and real. And it was incredible. I tell you what, that even got me hooked even more after that shock settled in. I just thought, you know what? I like the challenges. And that was kind of what got me going, was when I saw those guys, I thought, if they can do it, I can do it. It's just a matter of time, right?
Right.
So as you're going through 13 years of age, you're weight training at your house. What was your next step? Like after that, did you get into a gym or something?
Yes, the YMCA.
YMCA. I don't on that. Sorry, I've
Yes, you remember that gym upstairs?
Yeah.
And I walk in there, I see some big old quads, Tim Clegg.
Oh yeah.
I see a guy reverse benching, I don't know, 660, Mike Sir.
Oh yeah.
You know, so Grant Miller?
Yeah, Grant Miller.
Big quads, big shoulders.
Yeah.
So I'm watching these guys snatch 275, just repping out. So
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, that's where I gotta go. So,
Yeah.
you know, I would see you at gyms here and there. So I was constantly just watching and just stealing moves, absorbing. And like you said, it goes in your mind, goes in your heart, goes in your spirit, and you just become it.
You become it.
Yeah,
that's right. And you know, the thing about that is that what you're saying and the things that you're talking about in my gym, I have what I call serious growth creed. And one of the creeds, or one of the things I abide by, is that you question everything and you become a student of the game.
Exactly.
A student of the game. And people have no idea. Most people have no idea what goes into creating a body. Some people will say, it's steroids and it's all this and that. And not to say that there's not that in the game, because there is.
Absolutely.
But you take the steroids out of that game and the same guys will compete at the top, because they have more than that. They have that drive. They have that willingness. They have the discipline to go through a whole process to test things to see how it works for you.
Exactly.
Because I think you can probably understand. Look, we wrote some really good training courses, but Raphael, at the end of the day, it's not the last word, because you have to take that information like you did and you make it your own. I'm still doing that.
Still learning
that, because you know what happens is your physique now at your age is different than it was when you were 19 or 20 years of age, right?
Yes. The healing process.
Yeah. It takes a while a little bit longer to come back.
Most definitely.
Have you had to deal with many injuries along the way?
You know what? I am so blessed with that. I got some of the strongest ligaments, and I haven't. I mean, people used to, in my first half when I was 29, 30.
Yeah.
I mean, I got up to 570 bench, shrugging 1,000, whatnot. And people would be like, dude, we're waiting for you to rip a pick. I'm like, oh, don't jinx me.
Yeah.
So no, I haven't. Luckily, I haven't. I'm all one piece still.
Well, yeah, that's good, man. What was the first show that you competed in?
With you and I, Kings County Muscle Classic. You took a little break and then you came back.
Yeah.
I said, I'm gonna do this show, but let me rewind. I went to Venice Beach just like you did. I was a teenager, and it was the USA that day.
Uh-huh.
I stumbled onto Flex Wheeler after the pre-judging. I have a picture of him and I. Well, 2 months later, I entered the Kings County. You came back, swept it. I got second in the teens, third in the novice man. So
yeah.
I seen you that day. I don't know. You posed to Frank Saniani, or I can't.
Yeah, I forget.
But you killed it, and I'm like, man, I'm gonna do this. 1992, Kings County Muscle
1992.
Classic. We both did that show.
I have a picture of that up on my wall in the gym. That show.
Yeah, that was a fun show.
Yeah. Are you speaking of posing? It seemed like to me, like especially when I came back, like after a 13-year layoff when I was 54, I noticed that the back when I was competing, it was really important to put a routine, choreograph it to some music. It meant something.
Yes.
And what it seems like now, again, I haven't competed now for quite a few years, but it seems like now guys just turn the music on and they just move to really nilly, and there's nothing really connected or coherent to that.
They're winging it.
Yeah, I noticed that. I think, we used to get like best poser trophies. They don't even do that anymore, do they?
No, it's a lost art. But a couple of years ago, Arnold gave the best poser award, trophy and some money. So they're starting to, but it's not like it was, in your,
Yeah.
in your time, like
Oh man.
Lila Bradas,
Oh,
Frank Zane,
beautiful.
Robbie Robinson,
Yeah.
Arnold.
Yeah.
It's not like
I know. I noticed that too. I spent a lot of time making sure that there's a lot of time that went into that.
Oh yeah, it's just as important as eating for your prep. It's
Yeah.
just as important as working out, the cardio. It's all, people don't understand. The energy we put into this, we could have been a doctor.
Seriously. Yeah.
It's a lot of thought, and action.
Yeah, I know. I've always playfully called myself a meathead, but I'm proud of that. I'm a meathead because I'm into this stuff and I know what it takes to get to make and create a certain physique. So it's way more than a meathead. Now, I'm not going to say that there's guys out there that don't really pay attention to what the process is. They hire somebody and they just follow what they're saying. And, so they're not really connected necessarily that way. They still got to do the work.
Right.
But guys like you and me, we're actually in all the way. And we want to make sure that we study all the variables that creates that physique. People don't understand when I've told them, they ask you, how long does it take to get up where you're competing at a high level? And I'm saying 8 to 10 years before you're really honed in.
Easy 10.
Right?
Easy.
And they don't understand that.
Easy 10.
And those are the people they really haven't done it to where you never take a day off. We're always training. I mean, sometimes we take a little layoff and sometimes we take a break, but when we're in that mode, you never take a day off. You always train. You have to deal with setbacks. You have to deal with not feeling good. It doesn't matter. Life is always in the way. So when you got ready for that teen show, who was helping you at that point? Can you give us an idea, like, were you lifting really heavy weights or were you doing lightweight? Because there's been this debate in the sport forever. What's the best way to put on muscle? So how were you training for your first show?
I recall vividly. Tulare Fun and Fitness was an awesome gym right here in Tulare. I would squat heavy. I was always good at pull-ups, dips. I watched Arnold do a lot of dips, a lot of heavy flies. And I think there was maybe 3 weeks left and Jeff Snyder's like, hey,
Jeff Snyder.
Jeff Snyder. Hey, I heard you're doing a show. Let me come look at you. So I go over there. He's like, man, what have you been doing? I said, well, just chicken and rice and a little bit of cardio and calisthenics.
Yeah.
Supersets like Arnold. I was kind of copying Arnold
in
some ways. He's okay. Your training's cool. Let me fix your diet. And the diet was cool, but he kind of killed me on the cardio.
Yeah.
He kind of
like overdid it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Cardio, we need it, but how much do you need?
That's right.
Everybody's different.
That's right.
But that's what I did. And he showed me how to pose because he did a national level show.
Yeah.
He showed me how to pose. He tanned me. So I probably was the best prepared teenager, even though it was in a small window.
Yeah.
And I remember what I posted, Aerosmith, Janie's got a gun.
Uh-huh.
Janie's got a gun.
Yeah. Boom. Yeah.
So see, and we don't see that no more.
Right.
That's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
So my first show, I remember I got the pictures. I'm just smiling and I like the response from the crowd.
Yeah.
Watching you win, I'm like, man, that's going to be me. So like my whole life, it was already planned. From that day on.
You just kind of know.
Yeah, you just know.
You just know it.
There's no doubt.
Yeah, there's
no
a
doubt.
When you I don't know about you, but like the first show that I did, which is the Visaya show, Raphael, I got to tell you, man, I was, I over prepared because I didn't want to make a mistake and I wanted to remember my 1.5 minute routine. Right. I was freaked out about that, man. I mean, I dropped classes in school if there was any kind of an oral presentation, let alone be up on stage in a pair of trunks and bikinis and having people judge you. You know what I'm saying? I didn't, my first shows, I'll never forget this. I did my posing. I was ready. I was backstage. And when they called my name as I was walking out, I fucking forgot what my first move was. I went blank. I thought, oh my God. But you know what? I have so many reps and so much underneath me. I went through the routine. I got off stage. People said, your routine was fantastic. I said, fuck, I don't even remember it. You know what I mean? Because I was scared. I was nervous, all the adrenaline. Did that happen to you?
My first show, no. It was natural. It's happened after, as I went up in levels and I'm looking at guys and getting in my head. It happened. And then, it's taken a while to master that. So I know where you're coming from.
Yeah.
But the first show, no, it was a natural baptism to bodybuilding.
That's cool. Because I literally didn't remember my first routine. I did not.
Adrenaline.
Yeah. And it's like anything else. Repetition is the mother of skill. That's one of my my creeds that I abide by, because that's the truth. You do that enough, because I compare the first show that I did to later on in my career. I loved it so much more because the game slows down.
Yes.
Then all of a sudden I could see the people out in the crowd. The first time I did it, I didn't see anybody. I was too scared. I was too nervous, but then I could play the crowd. And one of the mistakes, in fact, you remember Jerry Bailey?
Jerry Bailey.
He hit the Sports Fitness Center. Him and Ed, I forget the guy's name. They're two owners. Jerry Bailey was one of the owners. He's a client of mine right now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And one of the things that he told me that was really valuable, and this was before the Vice, he said, Leo, learn less poses. Don't do too many poses. Just do a few of them and do them really well. Don't get too fancy for your first one. And he says, slow down, and slow down even more than you think that you are, because you're going to be going too fast. How sometimes you'll see guys on stage that they're cranking through the different poses. And then what happens to the audience is they don't get a chance to really appreciate what you've done. You got to slow down.
Definitely. I've made those mistakes.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah. It's good information. And that's where later on in my career is just like, everything was slowed down, and I could just really enjoy showing. I wanted to show them what I wanted to show them. And I took my time. Yes. That's what happens to these pro athletes. You see these guys like at the NFL, doesn't matter which sport it is. You see them doing things, they make it look easy. And that shit's not easy. That especially in football. That is such a fast pace, and these guys are operating very coolly in that condition. That just doesn't happen. It's repetition being the mother of skill. The game slows down to those guys, and that's why I wondered if that was such a big deal to you. So after you competed at the Muscle Classic, I'm sure that got you really fired up for the next. How much did you weigh for that?
I weighed 185.
185.
Yeah. I didn't know I was gifted.
Yeah.
I didn't know. I just know I want to hurry up and get to where you're at.
Yeah. Okay. So you did the show. How long did it take for you to get ready for that show? All right. Let's take a quick break so I can tell you about our product.
Do you want a bone-crushing grip? Good, because you're gonna get one with the amazing new TRS gripper. It's a progressive grip builder with longer handles and a special ergonomic design that's like a dozen hand grippers in one. Start off easy and work your way up to quickly build your grip strength from wet noodle to pulverizing. The package includes a video from the world-famous strength coach, Dr. Russ Horine, the man who worked with Leo Costa to help bring you big beyond belief in the Bulgarian power burst. Dr. Horine shows you a simple and easy to follow workout plan that takes just minutes a day right from in front of your TV set if you want. So click on the link below and let's get started building you a stronger, firmer, bone-crushing grip.
I did well. When the July something was the USA when I met Kenny.
Yeah.
And then we competed September?
I think it was like August, September, I guess.
Yeah, so probably like 8 weeks.
Okay.
Maybe 10 at the most.
Okay. And how long do you normally take to get ready now?
Oh, now I have to do 16 weeks.
Is that right?
That way I can go slow.
Yeah.
Friday night, have a cheat meal.
Yeah.
Saturday after I train, have a cheat meal. So usually how you do a show nowadays, the thing is the night before the show, put some junk in. After the prejudging, put some junk in. So the way I do it now is like I train like that all year round. So when I do a show, it's not a shock.
Yeah. That's smart, because the body becomes its function. The mistake that a lot of us made back in those days, Tom Platz, he said it to me best. After he said it to me, it clicked. Sometimes you have to hear it in a certain way. And Tom said, what happens usually with guys is they train their ass off, they're pre-contesting, and then they want to keep tweaking it to make it a little bit better and a little bit better and a little bit better as they're going into the show. And they end up crash landing into the show because they just, you want to get better. And we have the mindset that actually in that case works against us, because if you can clarify, because here's what I think. So much of the stuff that we do in training, in nutrition, and then pre-contesting is counterintuitive as to what you should be doing, or not be doing. The case there is you shouldn't be tweaking that or changing anything that you've done up to the point to the show, not drastically anyway. The body doesn't like that shit.
It doesn't.
It likes a little bit of change, but not a lot. How many times have I made changes like that fucking killed me?
Yeah.
And all this pre-contesting that you did, and then you had to learn the lesson and then try it again a different way the next time.
You basically beat yourself.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's happened to you?
Yes. And my coach now, Abbas Katani, who whooped my ass in '98 at the Mr. Sacramento. He's my coach. And basically he's like, dude, you're so smart, you know so much. He's like, but you're pulling too many levers.
Right.
And then he's the one that taught me about Friday night, Saturday after you train, just keep that way.
Right.
And that way you don't shock your body. Cause like you said, your body doesn't like change. And then sometimes when you train strict, what happens, this, if you overdo cardio, if you don't put that dirty meal into your program, not a cheat meal, but into your program on Friday, post-workout Saturday, then what happens is you're yin instead of yin yang. You're yin too much, and you're pulling from your bone marrow. Yeah. And another thing too, you shut down your metabolism.
That's exactly right. Flatten out. There's a lot of shit that happens to you in that little bit of time.
And people don't understand that.
I know.
You will literally crash your metabolism. So, I mean, I know a lot of trainers here in the Valley. I don't want to say no names, but I'll put them on blast in this way. Anybody can put someone in a deficit. Anybody can tell you do 2 hours of cardio. Yeah, they're going to get lean, but at some point they're going to get stuck. The fat's not going to go down. And all that happens, they lose muscle, and they get loose skin.
You're damn right.
Damn
right.
I done it to myself.
We all do. We have to learn that way. Yeah. The best way to learn is through firsthand experience. And you have to learn it your way. And that's why I've always thought when you, the bodybuilder, when you totally put your hands into somebody else, I'm not saying that you shouldn't have a coach, but when you don't pay attention to the experience that you're going through, you're going to learn some heavy lessons, and then you got to figure out why. It's like, okay, this guy told me to do that, but really what it came down to was you weren't a part of that. You weren't experiencing that setback that you are going to have. These guys that think that you just bulk up a little bit and then you eat and then you compete. There's so much that goes into that, especially towards the very end.
It don't work that way.
It doesn't work that way.
And what's awesome about my coach, Abbas, he was under Jay Cutler at one time, George Farah, he's a doctor.
Yeah.
And we have this close relationship, me and my coach. I respect him because he's no different than you and I. He's been through it took him 12 years to win to North America. Yeah. He did not give up till he got it. And he should have got it probably 4 times earlier.
Yeah.
But what I can do with him, I could be like, hey, I need more carbs a day. Why? This, that. Okay. Put in your log.
Yeah.
And then if I say something crazy, like if I revert to pulling too many levers, you're getting crazy again.
Yeah.
So we have that relationship. If it makes sense, he's like, yeah, pull that trigger. Oh no, you're overdoing it again. So we have that relationship where he trusts me if it's correct. And if I'm out of line, I trust him saying chill. Yeah. Well,
the beauty of that is that he's under himself. So that gives you a certain amount of confidence in that and respect for that decision that kind of waking you up for that,
It's certainty.
Yeah. And yet at the same time, you have enough experience yourself. I've told, I'm doing HRT now at my age, and I'm sure you can identify because you're saying this right now. Okay. So I'm doing the cream. Okay. My click first, I had it where I hit 2 clicks a day, morning and night. And then my pharmacist changed it to 1 click for, that was going to take care of like me doing twice. It was 1 click or 1 pump like that was enough. It was just like doing the two different clicks. And I said, okay, I'll buy into that. But I am so in tune to my body. In about 2 to 3 weeks, I said, oh, hell no.
Started crashing.
That's bullshit.
Yeah.
I said, you can't ever do that to me. You can't make changes like that in me because I feel it.
Yes.
I feel every little thing.
Yes.
And I started winding it up a little bit on my own because I used more of the HRT. And I told my doctor, I said, that thing, the change that he made with me, that's not good for me.
Screwed me up.
Screwed me up because I can feel that. Most people, they're not going to feel that. But when you're in a sport like we are, you feel everything.
Yeah.
No
doubt.
Exactly where you should be.
Yes.
Right.
I agree with you 100%.
Crazy stuff, man. Talking about more pulling too many levers. It was my train of thought. This was for I did the show in San Jose. This was after I forget what show it was, but I started thinking, okay, so if here's a mistake a lot of guys make. If 1 hour a day of cardio is good, then 2 hours or 3 hours would kind of be better.
Right.
And boy, that was a heavy lesson. I learned. Yeah, that was the worst shape I ever came in. I got up on stage. I was for the Fresno show. I got up on stage, Raphael. I went to hit a double bicep. I couldn't even make it. Everything. I was so depleted. I couldn't even flex to make a muscle. I was shaking on stage like that to make a muscle. All my electrolytes were off. I thought, oh my God, I felt like I was dying.
Let me ask you something. How many days did it take for you to fill out and feel good again? A week?
Yeah. Yeah.
About a week.
Oh, it took a while.
Yeah.
I mean, I really felt that I was dying. I hadn't felt that way before. Jeff, I forget what the guy's name was. He was Mr. California.
I know you're talking about, he's a doctor or something, chiropractor, Jeff.
Chiropractor, that's guy.
Jeff Lawson.
Jeff Lawson. Yes. I was under his he was helping me on that last week, and he had me put on a wrestler suit, and I was doing,
drying you out.
Yeah, drying me out. My eyeballs were sticking, man. I was that dried out.
Oh man.
I went to hit that muscle. I thought I was dying. I went out and had a cheap meal, like a dirty meal.
Right.
Then all of a sudden I started feeling better. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
Another lesson learned.
Yes.
Man. And that's the thing about this sport. You have to be willing to trust. At least I'll speak for myself. What I did is I picked a game plan before a show. The best one that I thought that was good for me, and then talking with people like the Tom Platzes of the world, whatever. And then I would follow that. I believe that you have to be all into the process. If you go into that idea, here's my off season and here's my pre-contest. If you don't buy into that whole thing, you can't possibly, after the end of the show, you can't possibly, in a real objective way, know what worked and what really didn't work if you weren't all in. And that's why that sport was so unique, because you had to spend anywhere from 8 weeks to now 16 weeks to trust a plan. Of course, as you get down the road more, you can make some adjustments because you have more information underneath your belt. But especially in the early days, I had to commit to and find out at the end of 3 months, did it work or not? Pick the stuff that worked, throw out the stuff that didn't. Let's pick another show.
Right.
Has that kind of been your process that way?
Absolutely. I mean, honestly, I can't tell you how many shows I've done where I was either top 5 or last because of mistakes.
Yeah.
And shows that I was top 5, a week later, I'd see the same guys that beat me. They're like, what the heck?
Yeah.
And I'm just killing them in the gym the way my appearance, they're like, I'm glad you weren't like this at the show.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've done that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And that, and I often think about why I'm so attracted to sports like bodybuilding, because I look back and my mindset is I'm attracted to things that are really hard to do. After I got out of the sport of bodybuilding, I got into long distance cycling. I'm not built like a cyclist, but I got into it.
You did it. I seen you ride the bike.
Yeah.
3 rivers.
Yeah. I was doing 200-300 mile rides, just to see if I could, because it was so damn hard. I used some of my knowledge from bodybuilding to make sure that I fueled myself properly.
Carb-loaded.
Yeah. But I've always been attracted to something that's very difficult. And this is the reason why bodybuilding I've been fascinated with that, because you have to, if you really want to be relative as you're getting older, I can vouch for that now. I'm 67, or I'm going to be 67 in 2 months. And I feel really good. I'm still competing. I'm not competing to be on stage, but I'm still putting muscle on. It's fascinating to me to be able to learn and make the body still make it do something that's very difficult to do. It's exciting for me because I live the bodybuilding lifestyle just like you do, just in a different way now.
Right. No, bodybuilding. Okay. Bodybuilding for me, it's saved my life, kept me off the streets, kept, tunnel vision.
Yeah.
And I'll say genetics, I was a 7. I wasn't a 10. We know those 10s.
Yeah.
Look at Flex Wheeler.
Yeah.
He could eat burgers and fries and win the cow.
Right.
Or do keto for a little bit and clean it up. So, for me, I had to go deep into studying, what worked, what didn't.
Yeah.
We were both around 7s, but and I think about you sometimes like, man, the way the bodies are now, your mass was ahead of its time. You would be killing these guys now because you were monstrous.
I got pretty big.
Not to get off the subject, but times has changed.
Yeah.
You know, before you had to have the Frank Zane bone structure and whatnot.
Right.
So now it's like it's blown wide open.
Yeah.
You got classic, you got board shorts, you
right.
got bodybuilding. But yeah, back to what you were saying, I agree with you 100%.
Yeah, it's a real interesting sport. What as far as your training is concerned now, do you have a tendency of lifting heavier weight more than doing volume, or do you do a blend of the two?
I do a blend of 3 styles. So I respond real good to calisthenics, like dips, and I use full range of motion or partials, you know, because I'm to stretch out my chest. I didn't have a chest. I had to make it.
Yeah.
You know, that's the beautiful thing about bodybuilding.
Right.
You can, like you were saying, you can change your appearance.
Right.
For mass, like my shoulders, to get wider shoulders, I use like Kevin LeBron style, heavy presses behind the head.
Mm-hmm.
For cuts, I'll go to Frank Zane Arnold style.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm kind of like all over the place.
Yeah.
You know, I can, believe it or not, I respond to 1 rep.
Yeah.
But then at the end of the workout, I'll do 50 reps.
Yeah.
You know, get that blood in there. So I'm kind of like, I don't know, what do you want to call it? Hybrid training?
Yeah.
Because I pull from.
And do you do that sort of, because this is what's really fun now, is trusting the instincts. It's hard to trust that. You get to a certain point when you've done it long enough, you kind of know. Tom Price, he told me that one time. He goes, there's sometimes when I go to the gym, I'm only doing 3 or 4 reps, but I'll do like maybe 10 or 15 sets of 3 reps, for example. And then I'll train it the next day, or maybe the next day. I just pay attention to what my body's telling me.
Yes.
And then, you know, the next time he does it, it's a different, he's really just training according to what his body's telling he needs.
Yes.
Is that kind of what you're saying?
Yes, I've reached that point.
You know?
And I've heard a lot of his videos.
Yeah.
And I'm with him on that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I have to, okay, I'll give you an example. Yesterday was leg day. And I called I got these 2 teens, I'm getting ready for a show, and they became my partners somehow.
Yeah.
It just happened.
Yeah.
And they're hungry. So I kind of, I feed off them, and I'm giving them knowledge, and it's perfect.
Yeah.
It was leg day, and I go, nah, we need to go shoulder tries. I already knew it. And I go, hey, what do you guys want to do? You want to do the leg day or shoulder tries? And they're like, dude, my CNS is crashed. I go, okay, it's shoulder day. Yeah. You know, so we did shoulder. So yeah, you're right. I do that.
Yeah. Even to this day, when I'm training, there's like, I got to do one more set. I'm not quite there. There it is right there. That's the set. Now I'm done.
Yes. Pull back.
That I'm done.
Yeah.
I just had to get to that point. Sometimes I get there sooner.
And you got to pull back.
Yeah. Yes. Sometimes it takes me longer. I got to keep beating up on it a little bit. And then it hits that point because one more set, all of a sudden I lose a little bit pump.
Yeah, I know.
Do you feel that?
I went too far.
I went too far. Yeah.
Yeah,
and that's still kind of fun to be able to feel that, you know?
Yeah, it's a personal thing.
It really is. Yeah. You know, so you do a sort of a blend. Are you training each body part twice a week? Or is that depends?
You know what? I used to, and it doesn't work no more. I don't recover.
Yeah.
I used to do chest, shoulder tries Monday, back trap buys Tuesday, legs in the middle, repeat Thursday, Friday, and then off on Saturday, Sunday. I used to. Now I could do chest, shoulder tries once, back trap buys once, legs once, calisthenics day, and then I got to chill till next week.
Oh, is that right?
The recovery, yes.
You know, and the beautiful thing about this, I've interviewed a lot of people, a lot of bodybuilders, and you know what? Even though that we are the same in so many ways, but specifically we're really different in the way that our bodies are. And the moral of that story is there's a lot of ways to skin the cat to make the body work.
Yes.
Like I said, there's not just one thing that you do. You got to figure it out at the end of the day for what works for Raphael. You know, you can pull some of the stuff like you're talking about. I pull stuff from Vince Gironda.
Yes, the great.
Yeah, Iron Guru, Vince
Yes.
Gironda. I took stuff from Tom Platz.
Yes.
I took stuff from when I came back from Eastern Bulgaria, you know, and all that stuff. And then I took this layoff for 13 years. And I created another training program. It's called RAMP. Rapid Anabolic Muscle Performance. That's what RAMP stands for. And all I did was after a 13-year layoff, I told myself, I'm going to wipe the slate clean. I don't want to be influenced by anything anymore. I know enough stuff.
Right.
But I want to see if I can create something even different.
Enhanced.
And maybe better, you know? And I came up with this RAMP style training, but I took, I'm influenced still to this day by all these people. You make it your own. And, you know, so that's how the process works. As it relates to your diet, okay, are you a big proponent of a lot of protein or like Mike Minster was a 0.5 gram per 1 pound of body weight?
Right.
The Bulgarians told us that you need to get up as high as 3 grams per 1 pound of body weight because you're putting, especially when you're putting your body under that pressure, it needs to recover. What's your take on that, and what do you do?
Okay, so this is going to tie in with the question you had earlier with the training. So if I want to get a sporty look, then I'll train my body 3 times a week, superset back and chest, and I'll go keto. Then I get that streamlined look. But for my current goal, you know, we got to go Mike Menser style.
Yeah.
And then when you're real tight, then I got to go Arnold Schwarzenegger and open it up. So you can relate to this. But my current diet right now, so I'll give you an example. If I'm doing 10 to 12 ounces of protein, then my carbs are low. If I'm doing 6 ounces of protein, them carbs are through the roof. I'm talking anywhere from 600 to 1,000.
And now, is this by feel, or is there certain days that you're doing?
Back in leg days.
Back in leg days.
Back in leg day. You know,
Gotcha.
It requires so much carbs to it's like Samir Bannout.
Yeah.
You know, I had the privilege to, you know, like you did with Tom Platts.
Right.
Paid him for some time, and he goes, "Can you bounce a flat basketball?" I said, "No." He goes, "Okay." He says, "You know how Samir, he's so enthused about bodybuilding.
Yeah.
He's just like Robbie.
Yeah.
Them two are buddies. You know?
Yeah.
He says, "You know how you overfill a basketball and you bounce it and it just bounces off. You need those carbs so they perform and they pop." You know, and I'm like, man, no one ever put it to me that way.
It's like I said, a lot of times it's just the way they put it to you. It's like, oh, that makes sense.
Yeah, he's coming from the heart.
Yeah.
I paid him for an hour of knowledge to talk.
Yeah.
We were there 3 hours.
Yeah.
And he gave me his personal, "Hey, come by anytime."
Yeah.
You know, you and I, if someone wants our help and they're genuine, we're there.
Oh yeah.
If they BS us, what do we do? Bye, dude.
And
right?
Yeah. Yeah. Because you know how much time, and you're in it with them. They'll understand that.
Yes.
And I always tell people, I go, if you're going to do this, make sure that you're going to follow through, because I will, this doesn't make me very happy if you quit when you start this.
Oh yeah.
You know, because when they do, I've had a couple of situations where they didn't follow through for whatever reason. The last month, never again would I help them. Never.
Right.
Don't ever come to me again. Never.
Yeah, because it's personal.
Yeah, it is.
We put our soul into this.
Yeah.
Our heart and soul into this.
Yeah.
Time. Like, I don't have a nightlife.
Yeah.
You know, we've been in a box for all these years.
That's right.
Trying to morph this body.
That's right.
You know, so yeah.
And still to this day, let me say, I'm a little bit older than you, but I got to say something. My enthusiasm is as much as now at 67 almost as it was when I was 40 or when I first started. I'm telling you, I still get up. I get up at 2:50 every morning. I live the bodybuilding lifestyle every day of my life. I'm down here at this gym. That's the first thing that I do every day. I don't have to get up early anymore. I want to. I need to. That's what makes me go. That's what makes me happy.
Yes.
You know, and it's an awesome feeling in my mind. But most people, I can't tell you how many fucking times over the years. I mean, my ex-wife was one of them. Why can't you just be normal? When I hear that shit, it drives me nuts. I don't want to be normal.
It's not who you are.
I don't want to be normal.
Yeah.
You know,
like they say, fuck average.
Fuck average. No, you know, and it's just something that I do, and I am content, and nobody understands it. You know, I hear so many excuses. I'm sure as a trainer and somebody who helps people, you're going to hear every excuse in the book. And I tell people, I said, there's 24 hours in a day. Okay. When I was with my wife, I had some shit to do. If I had to get up at midnight to do my cardio, so be it. If she wanted to go, you know, you got to keep the wife happy.
Right.
If they want to do something the next day and we're going to leave early, I'll just get up at midnight. And even that pissed her off sometimes. It's like, you know, it's like, what? How's that bothering you? It has no impact on you. I just have perfect willingness.
I experienced all that. I got 2 ex-wives. I know what you're talking about.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's real difficult. And you know something, to be honest, I can look back now and I can understand how they might think like that, because Raphael, think of it this way. When I was going through a divorce, I told my divorce attorney, I go, why is she acting like that? He goes, Leo, you got a rational mind and an irrational mind. I'm not going to say which one is which, but those are two different, you know, minds coming together, and they'll never get it. They'll never get each other. And those people that aren't in it, like you and I are, they'll never understand it. But you know what? Now I can understand being away from it. Okay, I can understand how she might have thought some of that stuff, because it is extreme behavior.
Yes, it's just not their cup of tea.
Yeah.
It's just not their cup of tea. I once seen a documentary on some baseball manager. The wife said, I knew when I married him, baseball was first.
Yeah.
So if we have to go to China for him to coach a team in China, I go. And I know when the season's over, that's my time.
Yeah.
And that's who he is, and I love him for it. So you have to find that type of.
Yeah, and it's a difficult thing.
Yeah, it is.
It really is. Especially I think about bodybuilding is an extreme sport, but so is long distance cycling. There's a lot of sports like that.
Yeah.
And whoever's a part of that, I mean, you have to understand. I mean, even if the person that you're with was doing a bikini competition and they were traveling all over, I mean, you'd have to be that person that could be a real support. Meaning, let them do what they need to do, especially during their time to get ready. You got to stay out of their fucking way.
Yeah. That's what I was going to say. We got to stay out of the way, or you're in the way.
Or you're in the way.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Okay, so your next show coming up is going to be. You took a bit of a layoff, and what made you want to come and try it again? I know we talked before that you got this one more. You gave yourself so many shows to get your pro card.
Right.
Because you're an IFBB pro now, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So what's your motivation now for doing what you're doing? Because I get a sense that after this run, you think that it's going to be over. Is it really? I don't know.
It'll never be over, but competition wise.
Competition-wise,
yes,
okay. So
I'll be just like you, getting up, training. That's never going to change.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. Look at how many people we know are 70, 80 before our time who are in immaculate condition. There's the body, it's in your mind.
Yeah.
You can stay, you can be ageless if you really want it.
Yeah.
But the competition, so this is what's going on. So I competed from 92 to 2003. And in 2003, them lineups were stacked.
Yeah.
I'm talking 30 guys. You get top 6, you did good.
Yeah.
So I got burned out. I took a break. And then I got heckled at the gym. July of 2014, on my 42nd birthday, I got heckled. This guy's like, "What happened to you?"
Oh shit!
And I'm like, "What do you mean, man? I chose to get slim and learn kickboxing. And I did a little MMA,
Yeah.
And nah, you're just old." And he pissed me off. Everybody knows I'm kind of a firecracker,
Yeah.
And I called my buddy and I said, "Hey, man, I need some gear. Long story short. 6 months later, I put on 80 pounds.
Yeah.
This same individual looked at me and just put his head down. And next thing you know, that was 214. I stepped on stage in 216, 218, 219, 220, 221 was my last season. I said, if I don't do it in 5 seasons, I'm out.
Yeah.
And I nailed it. I won the universe, super heavyweight, perfect score. Then I did 7 weeks later, I took 4th at the Legion's pro show. I weighed 234. Each show I started getting bigger.
Yeah.
And we both know it's not supposed to work that way.
Right.
So it's kind of like a reawakening for me. Like I'm going through this metamorphosis. It's not usual. It really don't happen to people.
Right.
So my plan this year was, okay, I'll compete a couple of times, next year a couple of times, and I'm done. Well, about a month ago, they announced that Mr. Olympia's back for the Masters. And they should have never done that because I'm on fire again, dude. I'm over here shoulder pressing 3 plates in the front, 275 in the back, bent over row 455. Like I'm hungry, like when I was in my 20s again.
Yeah.
So the goal is now, I mean, I want to win that Olympia next year.
Nice.
So that's
and you're 48 years old.
48. Yeah, 48.
So when is how do you have to be a master?
40 and over, but I don't know if they decided what they're going to do because 45 is still young. You got guys in the top 7, 10.
Yeah, it's changed.
At 43. So I'm hearing it's going to be 50 and over for the Masters, which I'm cool with that because I'll turn 50 next year.
Yeah.
So I'll be at the beginning of that. I'll be fresh. Yeah. So you have some options. Yes. The goal is to go in there, with that Kevin Lerone shoulders, that Jay Cutler fullness, that density of Ronnie Coleman from the glutes, and just demolish everybody. That's what I'm thinking, feeling, and working into existence. You know what? I love talking to people like you because it gets me all stirred up. My tail starts wagging. You ready to go lift weights? My tail starts wagging, and I know that I really, at the heart of it, I know that I want to do that.
but I just love living the bodybuilding lifestyle, and I appreciate, getting into your head and because it just brings back a lot of good memories, no matter what. I said the same thing when I had my strokes, in my book, I said, bodybuilding saved my life. It saved my life because it taught me to have a warrior mindset. It taught me to have perfect willingness, all the things I have as my creed. If I didn't have that in my background, I would have never recovered like I did, because most people don't recover from this is because they get their shit beat up, because it beats you down when you can't move your body like you used to, and it plays on your head. And that's the reason why only 10% of people who have strokes make an almost 100% recovery. I mean, my doctor told me I was a miracle. I had 3 of them in 3 weeks.
Wow.
But you know what, Raphael, bodybuilding saved my life. Some people will say, well, you took drugs and said, well, you don't really know what you're talking about. And that's okay.
Yeah.
You have your opinion, and that's cool, but it saved my life more than one time. And I'm so thankful that the sport found me, because it's in for the rest of they're going to have to carry me out of the gym feet first, because it's just what I do every single day. And you're going to be that guy. And it's a pleasure being around you because, you're somebody who understands what they're doing. You're a student of the game. I can tell that you have that desire, and I wish you a lot of luck in your next couple of ventures. And I do appreciate you coming in to share this with us. You trained on some of my products, and I'm humbled by that. So that's, we go back a long ways. We're connected, through our sport.
No, we are. And I've always kept your name alive on that. And that's something you don't see with this generation. They're not loyal. I've helped people for free. They go look the best they ever have. And then next thing you know, they're posting, they did it.
Yeah.
So, you're a part of my roots, Jeff Snyder, Tim Clegg.
It was a pretty special group back then, right?
Like all you guys are part of my history.
Yeah. And that's the way it works. We pass it forward. And what you're talking about right there is that we do it for the love of the game. And that's really important. And unless you do something for the love of the game, I'm still doing for the love of the game. I ask myself, how can I be relative now without competing? The podcast I do, this is awesome for me. I get to talk to a lot of great people from all over the world. It's an awesome thing. So I'm still living passionately and doing exactly what I want to do. It doesn't get better than that. Now, hopefully that happens to you.
My goal is to get a gym and have a stable athletes out there kicking butt. I got these 2 teenagers. One's a board short guy, one's a classic.
Yeah.
Jake and Robert Perez. And man, this kid's like 170, deadlifting 600, natural.
Wow.
His dad had his test checked. It's 900.
Wow.
I said, listen here, man. You guys are gonna stay natural for a long time. I go, you guys got a lot of potential. So, how you help me, I'm helping others.
Yeah, pass it forward.
Yes, if they're genuine, they're 100 about it.
Yeah,
I'm there. If they're fake, they're doing it for the wrong reasons. Like it turns me off.
Yeah.
And hey,
I get it.
Nice knowing you. Bye.
Yeah, I get it, man. Anyway, listen, like I said, I hope I see you again. I wouldn't mind doing another podcast and just share some more ideas. Look, it's about, like I said, giving information to people. I think you told us quite a bit of stuff that like how you do it. And I think that's important. So whenever you want to come back, we'll get together and do this again.
If you want to make another video, whatever, we could do one together. I'm open for everything. Let's keep the sport alive.
Sounds good. Raphael, thank you again for coming on.
Likewise.
And go get him, Tiger.
Thank you.
Okay, see ya. Go get some serious growth.
Yes.
All right.
Thanks for listening to the Serious Growth Podcast. For more episodes like the one you just listened to, subscribe to us on your mobile podcast app and leave us a review. If you'd like to reach out, you can find us online at seriousgrowth.com. Until next time, train smart and train hard.